Go, go, go! Let's do this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first edition episode / whatever
Numero uno.
of the podcast. This is it. We're here.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a second attempt ever at doing a podcast. The first one we did was years ago. Like, I'm talking 4 years ago, I think it was.
I think, wasn't that one like based in Minecraft? That we had, like,
It
our
was.
Minecraft
We tried to
doing
do a
it.
podcast using the world of Minecraft, which I thought was a little
it was
funny.
good.
So this
It
time,
was fun.
anyway, it was. But now we're coming back. You know, we thought we'd try something different, something new, something I actually have always loved to do. You know,
That's right.
chatting
Oh,
and
yeah.
doing all this stuff here. But
Well, because you like to hear yourself talk, so it works out good. Anyway, you guys listen. If you don't know us, my name's Chris. My call sign's Meaty.
and I'm Niels, and I'm also known as Guns for Hire.
True.
True, it is true. So anyway, welcome to the podcast. This we're going to be talking about stuff, video games, technology, movies, you know, pretty much anything that Meaty and I always say Meaty, even though his name's Chris. I don't think I ever call you Chris, do I?
No, that's why I'm Meaty.
Yeah, it's
I have a
just,
fat
it's
head.
just.
Oh, and by the way, I didn't get beat up. I'm coming off eye surgery, so that's why I got a big shiner.
Not true. He actually was irritating me, so I said, you know what, enough's enough, and I paid someone to hit him, because I'm not stupid enough to hit Meaty myself.
He
He'd break my
hired a
ribs.
group of people to attempt it.
A group of assassins. So yeah, we're going to talk about anything that we want to talk about here. So if you have other topics that you'd like to see us discuss here on the podcast, it's going to be very informal. It's just like Meaty and I, what we do before we record. We just chat, and we thought we'd record these and make a podcast of all these things that we love talking about, and we hope you guys like talking about as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of that, we're going to go into our first topic, and normally you'll see these little mini videos that I'm going to be putting out on news topics during the week. It's to get your comments and opinions and questions that you might have that we could use here on the show. But this first topic, we did not make a video for, so it's something fresh and new, and that is we're going to talk about the Rainbow Six Siege auto ban that Ubisoft has implemented. For those of you that don't know about this, it's basically a system pertaining strictly to the chat, so no voice or anything like that. If you say something hateful, and this includes speech like racial slurs or anything like that, whether it's an A or a hard R, it doesn't really matter. If you put that in the chat, you are insta-banned. You get a first strike is 30 minutes, and the second and third are 2 hours each. And then if you go against that again, or like a fourth time or whatever, and an actual official investigation will go into it. And if you're found to be guilty and constantly doing this, you're going to be permanently banned from the game. So, you know, they're trying to get rid of the toxicity. And I don't know how you feel, Meaty, but, you know, playing in the Call of Duty, starting YouTube in Call of Duty and playing a lot of that, in the gaming world, especially competitive games, there is a tremendous amount of toxicity in the community, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you feel about that. How do you feel about the auto ban? Personally, I think it's a good thing. I think people need to be held accountable for what they say. Like, is it that hard? Is it that hard to be a decent person? To not be a douchebag to someone else? I don't know why this is such a big deal in the community.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they're doing it in stages, so it's not like you're permabanned. You've got a couple of warnings there that just time you out for a bit.
Yeah.
But if you insist on doing it, I think that if you are going to implement something like this, that's a good idea. But the other side of this also is most like forums and stuff would ban you as well if you had hate speech of some kind or bullying of some kind like that.
Yeah.
So
like,
it's not that it's unique.
No, exactly. They do it. There's always rules, you know, and I've seen this argument all the time too. People saying, oh, well, you know what, that's the way I talk, or I should have the freedom. I've seen this, and we hear this all the time. Freedom of speech. That does not apply to websites or any of that. There's no freedom of speech in terms of that. In your country, maybe, yes. You know, in general public, you have the freedom of speech, all that other stuff, which, again, that's a whole new argument there. But in terms of these things, you agree to the TOS, the terms of service. You agree to abide by their rules. And if that's their rules and you violate them, too bad. You know what I mean? Like, you know, say... climbing behind saying freedom of speech, this is just the way I talk. Yeah.
You can't go out and shout terroristic threats,
No.
do homophobic remarks or hate speech, incite riots. There's things that you can't just go out and say because you think you can say whatever you want. See, absolute freedom is anarchy. So saying that you have freedom of speech doesn't mean you have absolute freedom. And the bigger picture here, though, that we really got to look at is who are these people that insist on saying or doing and being so mean, so angry to everyone, right?
And really, I'm just saying this. I'm going to the extreme side of this. I don't care about their opinions. If you're that kind of a douchebag human being that you can't be nice to people that you don't even know, like you feel inclined to be rude and hateful to people, regardless as to who they are, you're not a good person. And I don't care about your rights. I don't care about how you feel or if you're upset. Go away. You're poisoning it. You know, you're poisoning the well. And we're here to play video games. We're here to have fun. That's the whole point of video games, is to have fun. Exactly, right? I don't want those people.
Speaking of fun, though, this always reverts back to keyboard warriors. You know, they're super tough, running their mouths, you know, at an undisclosed location. So if you with your freedom of speech, I'm gonna have the freedom of the right hook in person. You know what I mean? It's
we always say that. Would you
say that to people in real life? Face to face, you wouldn't. Even if it's not some big mean dude. I'm saying you wouldn't say that in real life. You wouldn't say that in front of your friends and parents and everything.
Anyone, nobody in watching this video in real life would go up to you, maybe me, but not up to you and talk the smack that they talk. There's no way. I've been there. I teased Meaty. He's my buddy. He cracked 2 of my ribs. Imagine what he'd do to you if you irritate him. It doesn't end pretty, people.
Rolled you up in a ball.
I know. We were having a good time, and I poked the bear too much. But I can't imagine. Someone comes up. You're normally pretty calm. But my point is, people wouldn't really talk like that directly to someone's face. So why do it online?
Yeah, that's the theory of it. Don't be such a tough guy behind the scenes. You know what's... It's so easy to fall into that cliche. Why not try and just be normal? Look, if you get mad, if you get upset, like so maybe someone made a stupid play and they got taken out and in turn they got you taken out.
And you're frustrated.
That's okay to be frustrated, but you don't go in there with racial slurs or the things that's going to violate these terms of service. And
leave the lobby,
taking the time to type it in, just like whatever, just
let it
just
roll.
Make a better play next time.
Bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? I just for me, it's always frustrating to see that it's such a struggle for people to be good. Like, I don't know. Don't you want to be a good person? Would you like it if someone treated you like that in real life? No, I don't think anyone wants that. Everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants to be happy. No one likes misery. No one likes to be angry. So why spread it? Why be that person? You know, be a good person.
It's totally bullying too, though. That's for sure. When you hear a certain game has a real toxic community, it'll prevent new players to go over and try the game out because they know they're just going to get riddled if they make a mistake. And it takes all the fun out of it. So as a developer, you got to look and say, this community has been great as far as the term, how long they've been playing this game. It's been going on for years now.
Yeah, exactly.
But
way crazier than we thought.
Other players aren't jumping over to it because it's known throughout the forums how toxic people are. Team killing, the chat, all of this stuff. Voting people out if you got 1 or 2 people in there.
Dude, I personally have gone through that. I know how toxic it is because I'm a huge Search and Destroy fan. I always have been with Call of Duty. And a lot of our fans and subscribers, viewers, they're like, oh, if you really like that, you should play Rainbow Six Siege. That's all it is. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I went on there being a noob. This is like years into it. So I'm way behind the 8 ball on this. And I'm like, I even talk in there. I even say, listen, I'm new to this. They can tell by the characters that I'm using. And I'm like, I'm not very good. If you guys, if you want me to do something or be a certain support role, then just let me know and I'll do that. And even though I said that, as soon as I messed up once, I'm getting voted out, and they're just yelling and screaming like, you suck and you're garbage. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, is it that hard to be supportive? Is it that hard to bring someone new in to help you out? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's a shame. It's such a strong community. It's a huge community for Rainbow Six Siege. But it is
a fun game.
Oh yeah, exactly. On PC for me. I don't like the sloppiness on the console, but it's a huge game. Like, it's a shame that it's so toxic, because that's my experience too. As it got so toxic, I didn't even want to play it anymore. I didn't want to play it. I was like, you know what? This sucks. Like, I'd like to try and get better at it, but I don't want to hear everyone constantly bashing me. That's not fun. I play video games to have fun, to take myself away from everyday stress in life, to immerse myself in that world. And if that world sucks, I don't want to be part of that world, Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, we live streamed it once, and we went in, and I clutch aced the round.
Yeah.
And the next round, I got killed right away, and someone said something or voked to kick.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you dominated more than them, but you mess up once, and they're like, get him, get rid of him. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such an unforgiving. I don't know, if you guys are part of the Rainbow Six Siege, do you still find that? I think it's a good move from Ubisoft personally. I think it's a good thing. They're not doing it to punish the players. They're doing it to improve the community. That's why they're doing it. They're not doing it to punish anyone. The only people that are whining about being punished are the douchebags that are violating the rules and being mean.
Because I don't see it being that big of a deal at all, really.
No.
I mean,
not at all.
just play the game. And if you're so worried about other people, play with your friends only.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You can be a jerk to them and everyone will be happy.
Yeah.
All right, our next topic, and this one's, I don't know why, it's super heated right now, and everyone's all tweeting about it and getting involved, and their strong opinions on this, is cross-platform gameplay. Why isn't Sony allowing cross-platform gameplay with Microsoft or Fortnite? And more importantly, there's another issue with this that they're talking about. It's not just the cross-platform gameplay that they're upset about. They're upset about the fact that if you create, and Meaty, you may not know this, but if you create an account for Fortnite on the PlayStation, then you cannot carry that it's not about the fact that you just can't play with Microsoft or Xbox players or Nintendo players. It's that you can't take that same ID, which you could use on PC or PlayStation, but you can't transfer that same ID and everything you've unlocked and all the other stuff to Microsoft or Nintendo. So it's not just about playing with them. They're saying they're upset about the fact that if they create an account on Fortnite for PlayStation, that while you can transfer that to PC when you play with PC, you can't transfer that. You have to create a completely new identity and everything and start from scratch if you play on Xbox One or Nintendo Switch.
Well, why would you want to transfer it if you play on PlayStation?
Well, they're saying, some of their friends are on Xbox, so they want to go on Xbox.
So? If their friends are on Xbox, then buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
If you look, a lot of people ask, what console should I get? And my response is always, do you have a lot of friends that play? What do your friends play on? Get that one, right? Because it's not about who's better here. They're all good, right? They're all good.
And you say that. You said that a lot many times. If you're really that concerned about it. Like, I've never really been concerned about that, but if you wonder, like, they ask all the time, what would you recommend? And you say the same thing, Meaty, every single time. If you're wondering and you don't really care which one, get the one that your friends are playing on.
Yep.
But that brings me to the main point that I've mentioned in the other video, is that a primary reason, not maybe the only reason, but a primary reason why Sony does not want to allow cross-platform gameplay is because they own majority share of the game consoles. They own 58% of the market. Then the other percentage is split between the Switch and the Xbox One. So they own majority of almost 60%. So if they're owning that many people, and say someone new is deciding, I don't know what console, like the people asking you, which console should I get?
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying get the one that your friends are playing, statistically, and I'm not saying that it is in your particular case, but statistically, there's a large chance that your friends are on the PlayStation 4 because they already own majority of the market share. So knowing that, Sony's like, we don't want to allow cross-platform gameplay because the same person who's like, I don't know which one to get, if you're saying, hey, you can get the Xbox One and still play on all the games with your PlayStation, there's less incentive. They're like, hey, I don't need to get the PS4. I can get the Xbox One, which I really wanted to get, and still be able to play with them. Sony's smart for doing this. They're like, we don't need to do this. We don't need to offer you cross-platform. We have majority of the players there. We're not worried about that.
Yeah, it's such a weird issue. It sounds like this is being driven by Microsoft and Nintendo.
Oh, it is. Microsoft actually tweeted at Nintendo. They're absolutely capitalizing on this. They tweeted at Nintendo and they said, hey, you want to play some Fortnite tonight or Fortnite together? Something like that. There was a tweet, and I put that in the video, but they're capitalizing on this, man. Of course they want this. The funny thing is, it's never been a thing. Not in the PlayStation 3. They've never allowed cross-platform gameplay. Why is it so relevant right now? You know what I mean?
It's so strange. Like, why does it matter if you play? There's plenty of players on every platform to play in a game. So
make some
like
new friends or something, man. You know?
This is one of those things that gets conjured up by corporations, and people drink the Kool-Aid and jump on board like, oh my God, this is a thing.
Yep.
Well, okay, if you're one of those people out there that think that this is a thing, then go buy an Xbox, and then you don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, no worries.
And if you're a person that's going to counter-argue this with, well, I have a PlayStation and an Xbox, well, whoopity-doo, congratulations, moneybags. Then make up 2 accounts because you got nothing but time on your hands because obviously you don't have to work for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's the argument that, well, I have both and I play on both
majority
and I want to move
don't.
my account back and forth, well, pick one.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get to get everything you want. And I'm pretty sure that if you drop the game Fortnite, that PlayStation was the first one to actually cross-play with PC, which is Microsoft, before Xbox did.
They did, actually. I remember, with... there's actually many games. You can go on, I believe, I know some of you don't like it, but Wikipedia, if you look on cross-platform gameplay and, you know, how many games are cross-platform, you'll see that Sony, for a long time, from the beginning of PlayStation 3, has allowed many games cross-platform gameplay with PC.
Right.
They just don't want to allow cross-platform gameplay with the Xbox and Nintendo because those are their direct competitors. Those are other consoles. PC is kind of like in its own, it's almost like Switzerland, you know, it's neutral. There's no real company though, you know what I mean? Like they're all on their own, Origins or Ubisoft or all this other stuff. It's like
Android.
Yeah, you're not punishing PC.
No, it's exactly like Android. See, Android is made by Samsung, it's made by LG, it's made by, you know, all these different companies can make Android phones.
Right.
And only Apple can make the iPhone. So PC is just like an Android. It's made by many different people. It just runs a certain operating system. And traditionally gaming, I'm not saying it's the only one, but the highest percentage of gaming PCs run a Windows-based platform.
Yeah.
Not Linux, not Mac. It's
I know there's some hardcore Linux people.
Well, yeah, you can play on those. That's not what I'm saying. But we're talking about the highest percentage here of PC. So in general, it's going to be a Windows-based. And for those of you that may be wondering, I play on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
I have an Xbox. What are they called? Xbox One.
What is it holding up right now?
It's well, my table is uneven, and I have one. I have an Xbox One Slim. That's what I have.
Oh, you have the Slim?
And
Oh, okay.
I think it's slim. Anyway, I don't play that much console as it is, and when I do, I play on PlayStation.
That's just your personal preference.
I've always been a PlayStation person, even though because of YouTube, I've through the years when I could afford it, get the other console, and every single time I do it, it just sits there.
Yeah, I've done the same thing with the Xbox 360. I had before I bought the PlayStation 4, I bought an Xbox One. Before, and that was the first time I ever didn't buy PlayStation first, and I got it because of 2 exclusives. I think it was Plants vs. Zombies, and then the other one was Titanfall 2, because I really liked Titanfall, so that's why I ended up getting it. And I don't remember, I can't honestly tell you exactly why I stopped playing on it, but there was a point where I was just like, you know what, I'm tired of playing on this Xbox One. I gave it away. I didn't even sell it. I gave it away because I knew it was just going to sit there. I'm like, no, forget it. I'm never going to play this again. I got my PlayStation 4, and that's what I game on. But
I had the first one. I gave that one away too to somebody.
Oh, you did.
And then they had the Slim on sale.
So you thought, I'll get it again.
I just bought it. And I never even turned it on.
That was a weird move.
And that's only because you guys were content creators. So
Yeah.
if there was going to be an exclusive game that released that looked like total fun to play and that everybody wanted to see us play, I would have played it. I would have had it there ready to go. But it's like I said, I can fall into that category of that all my friends play on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Guns plays on PlayStation. All the people that I play with that have been followers of us for a long time,
PlayStation.
They play on PlayStation. And that's just it. And there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying it's the best or better or nothing. You can be the judge of that. But if your friends play, the majority of your friends or the ones you want to play with are on a certain platform, then be on that platform too. Or meet new friends online. Don't be toxic.
Yeah.
Be friendly and meet people.
Laugh and just joke around. You will make friends easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You just have to be nice. Some of the comments in the video when I originally talked about this to get your opinions and comments and everything like that, one of the things brought up was, well, this is bad for consumers. It looks bad for Sony. They say Sony is all about the gamers and not, the business end or whatever their saying is. You know what I mean? We're all about the gamers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All that, they'll have those little sayings that they have, their marketing slogans and all that crap. But they're saying that, why not, if Sony actually doesn't seem to care about their gamers. There was multiple comments about that, saying that they don't care about their gamers, they're all in it just for themselves and everything like that, and they're going to lose customers because of this. And I don't understand how how they're going to lose customers based on that. You know what I mean? Like I don't see how not allowing cross gameplay does that, and how they're not thinking about their consumers or anything like that. I think they're in touch with majority of their gamers. Like I said, if the majority of the gamers out there are Sony, then why do they have to worry about the Xbox gamers or the Nintendo? They're not supporting it anyway.
It's that's the competition. Why do you want? I guess I'm just a little detached from the whole idea of all this stuff. The way I look at it is this: what do I want from my console manufacturer? Okay, what I want from my console manufacturer is to deliver me the best console that doesn't overheat, that runs the best graphics it can for that year that I bought it, to run smooth, the games don't crash, that all of that stuff. That's what I want from them. And then have a good amount of games that are
like
written
exclusive.
for
The exclusive titles and exclusive titles and everything like that. The other thing too, and I'm just thinking about this now, is Sony doesn't want to allow cross gameplay. Think about this. The amount of money right now that's being generated in Fortnite through microtransactions and all that other stuff, the skins, the season passes and everything like that.
Right.
If you allow for your account to be spread, so say someone has a PlayStation account or an Xbox account or vice versa or wherever they are, Sony doesn't want its gamers, the people that are playing Fortnite on their system, to go to another system because they can transfer their account, make those transactions on the Xbox. Because I can guarantee you, whether it's Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony, when they make transactions, microtransactions, any purchase through Sony, they get a percentage of the money before it goes to the actual developer. There's no way that 100%, while they're handling all the transaction fees and doing all this back stuff for these companies on a massive scale, that they're not getting their cut. So if Sony opens it up, then who's to say that they're not going to make these transactions or any other cross-platform gameplay where they're not going to make their purchases on the other platform? Sony stands to lose a lot more than they can possibly gain from, allowing cross-platform gameplay. It doesn't make sense. They're a business. It's not the Red Cross. They're not there to just make you happy. It's business. I just think it makes sense. To me, that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you have to take a step back from it. It might be where you are in your life at the time. Maybe you haven't, witnessed a business or working or things like that. But it is big business, and I don't think that if you're out front, if you're leading the race, you're not going to look back.
No.
And try and have to merge to appease the guys behind you. Yeah. All you got to do is, again, produce a good platform that plays the games well, right? Yeah. And if whatever is driving people to want this, then go get and you're mad at Sony, then go get the other console and just move to that permanently.
Don't buy the PlayStation. That's it. Go
Yeah.
buy one of the other ones then.
Go buy.
It's
Go get
one
that.
game.
Sell your PlayStation and go do the other one, because it's not worth arguing. Your argument's not going to change the fact.
And they're not going to change that simply because one game right now happens to be super popular. It's one game. It's going to fade eventually.
Yeah, because before that there wasn't really talk about this, right?
No.
Okay.
We also have a couple of movies coming out.
Hello.
I love them, but they're not coming out this year, unfortunately. I know they got to promote these things, but it always kills me when it's a movie that I really want to see. The same thing with Venom. I don't know, is Venom out already? You know the one.
It's the
Spider-Man. I can't remember the
yeah.
name of the actor either. Oh my god! And I actually like his acting. He played in Mad Max. Who was that dude? I can't remember. If it comes to
you're talking about
who?
Not Bane, right?
No. In Mad Max Fury Road, he played Mad Max or whatever that guy's name is.
He also played Bane.
Yes. Why can I not? I cannot remember. It's Harding.
He also played in The Revenant.
Something Harding? No.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy? Is that what it is?
Tom Hardy. Yeah.
It's not Harding. It was close.
Tom Hardy. He's awesome, man.
Yeah.
He was a good Bane. He was good in The Revenant.
I don't know if that
one?
I don't know. You know what? I haven't been to the theater in so long. I generally wait for it to come on PlayStation Video. I'm one of those people that actually rent videos, or Amazon Prime. Yeah, Amazon Prime's really good for movies as well.
I love Amazon.
I know you do. You're constantly getting packages from them. 2 new movies, though, coming out. The big one, the first one that I want to talk about is Zombieland 2. I don't know. Did you see the first Zombieland? With Woody Harrelson?
A long time ago, but I may have been under the influence of some whiskey or something. No, I don't remember it.
And you're not a big
zombie.
You like zombies,
of it.
but you don't like zombie movies.
No.
You don't watch those.
Like Shaun of the Dead and all those things.
I thought that was hilarious. That was a good one.
To me, they come across so goofy.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm not into that. I'll tell you after we go over this. I'll tell you the kind of movies that I like. One's coming out here pretty soon.
Oh, okay. Well, Zombieland 2 is coming out 2019. Woody Harrelson's got all the original cast in there. Obviously not Bill Murray, because if you haven't seen the first one, I'm going to give you a spoiler alert here. He dies. So obviously he's not going to be in this one, but it's Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin. I think that's her name there. Anyway, they're all back in it, and they're all good to great actors, actresses. So I expect it to be just as good. It may not be the best, because it's like, the way the first movie's always good because it's a new concept, Yeah. And then when the second one comes out, you're already used to the new concept. You think it's going to be just as good because you're like, oh, I really love the first one, but it's not new. It's not fresh. Yeah.
It's very rare that a sequel... It has the same kind of following that the original does.
Empire Strikes Back, exception to the rule, my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, it did. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if you guys are looking forward to that. The other one that is coming out is, what is that one? What's the other one? We got Zombieland 2.
Joker.
Oh, Origins. The Joker Origins. That's right. And this one here is getting a lot of hubbub. People are passionate about their Jokers, man. They want, they're really, really, like, especially in the comic book world, whether it's animated or live action, they are very passionate about who and how they portray the Joker. And this new Joker, the Joker Origins, that's coming out next year, is going to be played by Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. When I first heard that, I wasn't sure if that was going to be good, because I keep thinking about, my personal favorite is Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight. I thought, for me, it was so memorable. It was so raw. His emotion, and it was just like, wow, like, minimal makeup, not super cartoony or comic-y, though, Yeah.
Was he always, like, going... Like, his character, his Joker did a lot of with the mouth.
Licking, like he was, like, constantly salivating and stuff.
That was good. That. You know who else I really like? Who? Was Jack.
Oh, Jack Nicholson, exactly. Yeah. When that was like one of the first sort of live action ones, so other than Cesar Romero, that was from, like, I think the 60s. You know that? Oh
yeah, those were. But when we're talking about a movie, I would say you almost want to limit it to the movie characters.
Yeah, the live action characters.
The live action character, not necessarily the comic character, because those are, like, near and dear to most people, most diehards. Love that voice.
If you're into DC Comics, majority. The fact is, majority of people like Mark Hamill. as a voice in the animated series, and I believe he also plays the voice in the video games. We did a poll on the channel, and it was like Mark Hamill was easily the biggest. But in terms of movies, like what you and I are talking about, media, we're talking about live action. The Jack Nicholson, the Jared Leto. Oh, people did not like that guy. They did not. Yeah. Like the teeth. All the teeth and everything like that. And he played like a hip hop. It was a Suicide Squad. I didn't mind him. Him. He was his own version of him. But
it's a different version.
Yeah, and it's going to be hit and miss. I think it's important, though, like with Joaquin Phoenix, that we don't expect him to be Heath Ledger. We don't expect him to be what already pre-existed. He needs to come into the character himself. He needs to bring something different to that character, I think, personally.
Well, I think that the two that we talked about that we both like, you look at what they did in other movies, and like Jack has such a strong character. Oh, yeah. So put him in as the Joker, and he brings that tough guy. Oh, yeah. I'll kill you with my
Shining.
looks.
Perfect.
Yeah, The Shining. Exactly. Paint his face up, and he's the Joker in The Shining. So
Psycho.
Joaquin Phoenix has played a variety of roles through his career, so it will be interesting to see what he does with it. It's like when they switched up Batman to the last one, I didn't even watch it.
What was the last one? Oh, it
was Ben Affleck.
Oh, and I'm just saying, I'm sorry if you guys are a fan of him, but I'm not a big fan of Ben Affleck at all.
I'm a fan of Christian Bale though, so I may be up against the grain there. But he was good.
I thought he was awesome, dude.
His voice and all that was goofy sometimes when he's like, trying to be all aggressive, but he was good, especially when he was fighting Bane on the stage.
No, he was cool. I thought his character, I agree with you. I think his character was really cool. What other movie were you talking about? There's another one coming out?
Those types of movies are fun. They're like real relatable to gaming and all that stuff. But if you're interested, because I just really came to this realization the other day. Because on Amazon, I'm going through going, man, there's no good movies made anymore. Yeah. I love movies. The Equalizer 2 is coming out.
Oh, really?
Like right away.
Who's the main character in that, in Equalizer?
Denzel.
Oh, dude, I love Denzel. I think that dude's a top caliber
number one
actor.
is like Liam Neeson, Denzel, those kind of characters, right? I love them. Right. And I love the far-fetched, crazy thing that one guy can take on as the underdog, but he's got the skills and he just kicks everybody's butt. Yeah, he gets shot, he gets hurt, he gets rolled over. A lot of things happen to him. Yeah. But if you saw Equalizer 1, it's like, they did a quick backstory of, his wife left him because he was some sort of, they didn't ever say CIA,
operative or something like that where he's away from.
He's
I've
like
seen the first one, but I don't remember it. Maybe I should revisit that movie.
It was a little bit slow for the first half an hour, right? Okay. But then it ramped up because somebody beat up the hooker, and the hooker was nice, and she was nice.
Nobody beats up the hooker.
And then it was the Russian mob. And then it was on like dawn, and it's awesome. So those are the types of movies I really like.
The lit ones where they get angry. They're like, Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
And thriller spy movies. But also unrealistic. Not one guy is not going to take on the whole East Coast of the Russian mob and kill them.
And that's like John Wick.
Yeah, and then 3 days later be in Moscow knocking off the boss. But that it happened, okay, in the first one.
It's entertaining, though.
And I love that because I'd love to see if that really could happen. You're like, oh, man. That's as close to a real-life superhero that you could get. One person can take because of his skill set, right? Yeah. He's not reckless. He knows he's got surveillance on point.
And he's immortal.
His weapons and all of that stuff, but he gets shot too, and he almost gets taken out, and little things might happen. Oh, it's so good,
dude. I agree with you. I think those kind of movies they're like comic book style, but a more realistic.
Yeah,
I'd say realistic.
It's so far-fetched.
Yeah. But it's more realistic to someone like you can imagine yourself like, that's what I would do, and I would do this, and meanwhile, there's no way that you would do that. But anyway,
and I love the thrillers like Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah,
the thing about Silence of the Lambs is it's a psychological thriller. Yeah. It's not about blood and guts and gore. No, it's about holy cow.
Yeah, that dude's eerie nuts. And psychotic. That's a good point though. No gore, no over the top crap shock
because
value.
as they went along, even with that series,
Yeah.
where the pigs are eating the people, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, come on. It's because you don't have the strong characters anymore.
Yeah.
Clarice is played by somebody else, and
Yeah.
really Red Dragon was good too.
Oh yeah, that one was. They're all very
dude.
disturbing. That was.
But
a
I love
great,
psychological thrillers, right? It
Yeah.
really gets you into it. Great, screenplay, the story, the plot, the characters, the actors. Oh, it all comes together.
Do you know when it's coming out?
What's that?
The Equalizer 2. Do you know what the release date is?
I just saw it. It's going to be released like right away. It's due out.
Oh, like
within
soon,
the next-
like this year.
Like within the next couple of weeks, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, it's not like I'm going to the theater to see it anyway, because
Theater.
I haven't been there in a long time. But anyway, are there any other movies? You guys aware of any other movies that are coming out? Any big blockbusters that are coming out maybe this fall, Christmas? Is there a new Star Wars coming out? Do you know?
Well, they released the Han Solo one, but I heard that it was kind of a flop.
I'll see it anyway. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, man. I
want to see it, but I'll see it on Amazon.
Yeah, I'll wait the same. But anyway, if you guys know of any other movies, by all means, let us know, because we're big movie hounds and we're always on the lookout. We're not going to go to the theater, but at least I like to sort of be prepared and say, oh, I can't wait for this to be on video, Amazon, or whatever the case may be. So if you got suggestions, put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Our next topic is something that you either absolutely love and still love, or you're completely sick and tired of hearing it, seeing it. Every video, everyone's talking about it. Everyone on Twitter's tweeting about it. And that is Fortnite. This crazy explosion, following, I was going to say preceding, but it's after the release of PlayerUnknown's. We saw that went explosive, and then Fortnite came onto the scene, and it's just gone redonkulous. Like, absolutely, like media, you see it everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's playing it. We can't avoid it in social media,
Yeah.
And we're just wondering, in terms of this, as popular as it is, because it is crazy popular, how long is it going to stay on there? How long? Because some people are saying like, oh, it's already going to be burnt out. The reason why this is kind of a relevant topic is, in terms of Black Ops 4 and Battlefield, they're both bringing a battle royale. And while I'd like to say that it's largely attributed to the fact of PUBG or PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I think it's more logical to say that they've implemented that because of what happened with Fortnite. Because Fortnite went on and took on PUBG and just went way beyond it to a level of ridiculousness. Whether you're on Twitch, you see it. It's always constantly number one. Constantly number one.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, but when does this game die? Because I'm not saying die, but subside. Drop down in numbers and everything. Because right now it doesn't look like it's slowing down. I know it's early, but we have games like, say, Minecraft. Minecraft rose from 2010 to 2012, but that was over if you look at Google Trends, which measures search numbers and everything like that over all the internet, at least using the Google. The growth of Minecraft to its peak, which is actually as high, or if not higher than what Fortnite is right now, and higher than, say, GTA 5, which is the other one that I'd like to compare it to, it was more of a gradual incline, because I think it was because they released it unofficially until, what is it? Was it 2013 or 2012?
It was a while. Yeah, it was a while. And then it sold. There was a lot of iterations.
But the beta period,
and modding.
Yeah, the modding and the beta period allowed for this constant improvement over a span of two years. When you look at something like GTA 5, which is another super popular game, it exploded. It exploded, record sales. But as fast as it exploded onto the scene, it dropped just as fast and relatively quick, unlike Minecraft. Minecraft still was higher, even in the wake of GTA 5. Even when it was exploding, Minecraft was still holding strong. And it's gradually slowing down and everything like that. But with GTA 5, it spiked up huge, then went back down. GTA 5 is still popular, but it didn't hold the same number as Minecraft. And now we're on to Fortnite. Another game, I think largely, honestly, because it's free. We've discussed this before. I'm not saying it's a bad game.
I think 100% we wouldn't be talking about this game if it wasn't free.
I think. I was trying to be a little more diplomatic, but I completely 100% agree with you.
It could be the best game in the world. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
if you play Fortnite, you love it, that's awesome.
But
I don't play
play it.
Fortnite, but what I'm saying is, let's say the game is called Game A.
Yeah.
If Game A is free, that's 100% reason why it's popular. If it wasn't free, I guarantee you we wouldn't be talking about it right now.
No, exactly. So that being said, I think the burnout rate for this, I think is not what I thought. I compared it to GTA. Like in the video that I did earlier on this week, I said, listen, if we look at it in comparison to say Minecraft or GTA 5 in terms of their explosive popularity then decline, I was like, well, look, it's just as rapid and fast as GTA 5. I think if people played it, they went nuts, and then it declined pretty fast.
Right.
But when I looked at the numbers a little bit more on Google Trends with the Fortnite, it's actually doing something that I didn't expect it to do. And this is something I looked at after I made that video. It is holding. It is holding that peak. It's not like it's holding it longer than what GTA 5 did. Like it is holding strong. I don't know what they're doing.
I think personally what Fortnite does is it's interesting the games that you brought up. Because Minecraft players weren't necessarily GTA 5 players.
No, it's not the
until
same.
Maybe they got a little older or something than they were. What Fortnite does is bridges that gap between what could be like a Minecraft style player because it's cartoony.
And fun.
But also FPS players.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
also
the competitive scene.
Yeah, you're bringing a wider audience in on that type of game where with PUBG it's more like a milsim kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not, we play in first person.
Yeah.
We like first person. We don't like third person.
Well, we like Battlefield and Call of Duty, and that's kind of our thing. Borderlands, all that stuff.
I think that one of the things that makes it, besides being free, is why it's really popular. Yeah. But what makes it a good game and why a lot of people like playing it is just that. It's combining aspects from a little bit from a lot of different games.
Yeah.
And kind of
it's
mixing
bridging
it all
that
together
gap, right?
one.
From that serious competitive gamer to the one that just likes having fun with their friends.
Yeah.
Because it is cartoony. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And you know what? As fast as I think this was going to decline, I'm just looking at this and everyone's constantly playing it. And even in my house here with my kids, they're constantly playing it. And I refuse to play with them. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I don't like the game. Nothing.
So I have a question though. I have a unique question. So you say that there's microtransactions in the game, like where you actually use real money to buy credits to get stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
The seasons and everything like that, like all these new seasons and skins and stuff like that. I don't know about the skins really. I just know there are technically microtransactions and they make a lot of money.
Okay, so they make a lot of money. Great. So let me ask a rhetorical question here. Why is it okay that Fortnite, if you only play the Battle Royale, which is free, there's a Fortnite game a lot of people don't know that we bought.
Save the World.
Right? Yeah, there's a Fortnite game. And then you could look at it, Battle Royale is like a free DLC.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And anybody can play that even if they don't have the game, but there's microtransactions.
Right.
Why in Battlefront, when they released free DLC but had microtransactions, did everybody just destroy that game and shut it down and say, this is the worst greed ever?
Yeah, because people jump on something. Once someone plants a seed, the sheeple just start getting all
It's the same thing, dude. It's the same thing. They have a game. This is free DLC. Yeah. You don't need the game. And people are blowing up the microtransactions.
But there is a difference, though.
What's the difference?
The difference is you have to pay upfront the full cost of that. The Star Wars game, on Battlefront. Yeah. You don't actually have to buy the game. But it was the first time they said, forget Season Pass. We're giving you 4 DLCs for free. Yeah. Yeah. No one made any comment of that. I know we're stirring up a hornet's nest with other people with that, but I'm just
my point is just this. I don't do the microtransactions. No. I could care less about loot, crates, boxes, drops, any of that junk. I buy the game, I play the game. I don't need to look a certain way or have a certain camo. That's not for me, but it is for some people.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Again, this reverts back to this is a business. There's a lot of people that work on making a video game, right? There's a lot of behind the scenes. There's audio engineers and graphics and coders and all this stuff. People need to get paid.
Yeah.
They're in it for profit, not for, like you said, would you say the Red Cross or something?
Yeah, they're not the Red Cross, not saving lives.
I was
People.
just
You're
saying,
not
it's
doing it
something,
for like, they're all about
something
money.
to keep in mind, because it's hip. It's hip to be on the Fortnite bandwagon.
Yeah.
No one would ever say that because
No.
I said it,
Yeah.
but I'm just throwing it out there as devil's advocate.
Yeah.
It destroyed one game. It's not destroying this game.
Yeah.
But I think that it's a fun game that a lot of people have access to,
Because
and that's
it's
why
free.
it's popular.
Yeah. You know what? And let's look at this. And I'm not trying to attack Epic Games or anything like that, but their main game, the one that they actually spent years developing, and I was actually looking forward to, the Fortnite Save the World, was a flop in comparison. It was a complete flop. No one has interest in it. Maybe some of you bought it. It didn't sell
we
that.
Bought it.
We did buy it. I was looking forward to it, but I was like, it isn't really what I was thinking it was going to be.
It just doesn't come together. It's not fluid.
Let's just be honest. It was a flop. And so they capitalized on the success of PUBG, and they made something like that. They're, whether you're going to argue it their own or whatever.
And good on them. What a great business move they did there.
Like,
great business move.
No one owns Battle Royale. I know that.
Did we get any comments on this one?
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
Okay. All right.
We got Cody Neely. And he says, Fortnite will die when Black Ops 4 and Battlefield come out. So I asked people, when do you think the popularity of Fortnite's going to subside? And that's not the only person. So Cody, thanks for your comment, first of all.
Thank you, Cody.
But, people are like, oh, well, once this comes out or once the new game comes out, then it's going to really impact that. And I see that from a certain perspective, right? Like, there's nothing else. Summer is the dead zone. There's no new releases or anything like that. I think it's safe and natural, and it is somewhat logical to say, hey, when Black Ops 4 comes out, because they have a Battle Royale mode, when Battlefield comes out, they have a Battle Royale mode, that there's going to be some sort of pull away from the Fortnite community. But I really honestly don't think it's going to be enough to take down Fortnite, or they're going to see it that big. One, because regardless if Battlefield or Call of Duty add a Battle Royale thing, which is trendy right now, it's not free. It's not free, and the popularity of Call of Duty has been kind of subsiding over the years. It may boost it a little bit, but I don't see an expensive, and this will be for a different topic, and I know some of you guys are crazed up for this, and maybe you don't know this, Meaty, but in order to play the Seasons Pass or get the Seasons Pass, you can't buy the game by itself and buy a Seasons Pass separately. It's an all-in-one shot here. So that means it's like $109 or something like that. That's the game with, I know, I'll have to investigate. If I've got that wrong, I apologize, but I haven't looked into this in a while, but that was something like Daz,
Yeah.
Daz mentioned, he's like, oh my God, what the heck? Like, you have to buy the 109 in order to get the Seasons Pass. They're not selling it separately. It is part of it. And I'm like, well, if it's part of it...
That doesn't make sense, because people are going to buy the regular game, and maybe a year from now, they might want to get in on the DLC.
It's definitely... I think it's a marketing angle that they're trying to take here, trying to force everyone to get the Seasons Pass with it originally. But I'm like, well, if you're going to do that, and you're already aware of it, why don't you lower the price? Make it more attractive to people. You know what I mean?
And give those people a lot more than someone who buys the season pass later on.
Yeah.
Give them a lot of skins, stuff
like
that obviously
investment,
doesn't impact the game, not pay to win, but give them camos or skins or something that makes that's a lot of money.
But do you think that the release of Black Ops 4 and Battlefield, knowing that they're also going to have, whether the games themselves or the games with, are going to take away from Fortnite? I just don't.
No, because look, Call of Duty is very, very focused on a certain player base.
Yeah.
Battlefield's very focused on a certain player base, and Fortnite is grabbing from a lot of player bases.
Yeah, you're right. That diversity, like
so.
you mentioned before, the younger versions, it's way more competitive, I think, in terms of that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll have... It might have... it's going to have some... Yeah. Because of the time that... how many times can you do the same thing on Fortnite, and then these new games come out. So, it's going to have some.
Well, for me, it's but I don't really play Fortnite, so that doesn't really count. But it's going to pull certain people. I know at the end of the summer, everyone's all playing it. There are going to be a certain burnout rate, and they're like, okay, let's get on to something new and fresh. Especially in the holiday seasons when everyone's got their new games from mom and dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The numbers
for
are
sure.
the numbers are going to drop. All right, so we got another comment. This one's from Button Pusher. Button Pusher BP. Fortnite will have its time in the sun, but I know that after the holiday season, we will see a massive numbers dropping. Then during the following year, it'll stale out, or I think I wrote that wrong, like stale out or whatever, and most players will have moved on to other titles. We will see a very sharp decline around the holidays and shortly after the holidays, then a more spread out, steady decline afterwards.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the overall amount of games that are coming out in holiday season,
Yeah, big
it's
titles.
not
Red
just-
Dead, man. Red Dead. Call
I
of
think
Duty.
a game
Ooh.
like Red Dead
Yeah.
is going to have a bigger impact on the Fortnite base.
Yeah,
than-
I'm actually super excited about that, man.
Yeah, but then you've also got Assassin's Creed's coming out. You know,
yeah,
there's a
so
lot
many.
of different games coming out.
Yeah.
that could affect that. You know,
It's a big year. It's a big year for AAA games for sure.
Look, some people will say, have to save up just to buy one AAA title with all the bells and whistles, with like the season pass, DLC content, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll save up for one big one. And with Fortnite being free, they don't have to do that. They can just play the heck out of it. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe that big title that they're saving for is Red Dead. Maybe it's Assassin's Creed. Maybe it's Black Ops. Maybe it's Battlefield.
Yeah.
And then, they're going to get back to something like that,
Yeah. I think the launch time, if you're just talking about maybe another year where Battlefield wasn't coming out and maybe it wasn't such a highly anticipated Treyarch Call of Duty coming out, I think it would have been better for Fortnite. I think with all these big AAA titles coming out, Red Dead and all that, I think it's going to have, if we're going to see a big decline, it's going to happen this season. I think that's what's going to happen with this. So we got another comment here from Pacific Prowler. Fortnite and Battle Royale will burn out probably within 3 years. This happened to World War II shooters. World War II shooters dominated the markets and eventually fizzled out 2009. The same thing will happen to Fortnite and Battle Royale as the market will be oversaturated with Battle Royale games.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good point. Not just saying that Fortnite itself, but the whole concept of
the
Battle
genre.
Royale.
Well, because look, Call of Duty.
It's a good point.
They're adding it. Battlefield, they're adding it. You know what I mean? They're not going to be the last ones to add that. And you're right, we're getting it's like Battle Royale, Battle Royale, Battle Royale. It's like this oversaturation.
Yeah.
And it could be. It could be. It could be like, okay, enough of the Battle Royales. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily the game itself, but the genre.
What I like about it, but look, where PUBG really fell on their face versus Fortnite is two big things. One, they never got a handle on the cheating.
I know.
They never got a handle on the cheating. So players like us play it, but we're like, how serious can we take this? Because I really enjoy it when it's on point.
Yeah.
It's so
hit detection, and
it
they're
feels
like,
so rewarding. You're having to aim and hold your breath and steady your mouse and do all this stuff. But the other thing they missed out on, skins.
Yeah, their skins suck, dude.
I know.
They're
Clothes,
so bad.
skins, camos, clothes, all that
So
stuff.
bad.
They suck.
They tried to get in that. It was just like, why would I spend money on it?
If they would have just done something with that, it would have attracted a little bit, because a little bit wider base wants to see their character look different.
Yeah,
and
like
cool.
CSGO skins. They're awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They did an amazing job on that. That's a perfect example.
Oh, yeah.
The ones in PUBG, oh my god, you got to fire whoever is designing the skins because they suck.
Yeah. Those were the two places they came out and they just killed it.
Yeah.
They killed it in sales. They killed it in numbers of people playing, all this stuff. But then they couldn't get a handle on the cheating, and Fortnite pounced.
Yeah.
And did the whole thing that they did, and that's why they've become so successful. They did perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things about good business is perfect timing, and Fortnite did a really good job with that.
They nailed it. They nailed it.
Yeah.
We don't take anything away from them. They did an amazing job on that. But one quick thing before I drop the PUBG thing, the other thing that I find a big difference, and I know a lot of players, especially my older son talks about this, and I'm like, from my experience playing it, is the lull moments in PUBG versus Fortnite. Fortnite is a smaller map. It's almost like playing Miramar, or Sandhawk.
Yeah, the small one.
The small one is much more intense. It's faster. It's happening, and it's constant action. It keeps you engaged. But they're two larger maps. There's so many moments where you are, it's the running simulator. You're just running forever, and it's like, oh my god, only to get shot in the back. It's not fun. It takes way too long, and the maps are like way too big. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
it's
the design for me
that's
personally, anyway.
That would really be another topic, but
Yeah.
a good PUBG topic. But where that came from was Player Unknown, the person, developed the mod in Arma.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. The maps were huge, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they did all this stuff, and it was almost like was very attractive to DayZ type players because they were used to this long traveling that you get lackadaisical in your travel to get to the circle, and you get shot in the back.
Yeah, just
so it brings in a whole other element.
What did he do before that? Was that H1Z1 or is it DayZ? No, it was H1Z1 that he did a battle.
No, it was Arma.
Was it? I thought it was H1Z1.
I think the battle royale started with Arma, then went to H1Z1.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah.
But again, just for me personally, but I can see why some people don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta just keep doing this, and why they like.
And where Fortnite is smaller, it's here. It's like attention span doesn't need to be that long. Wink. Wonder why that's popular.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and our last topic that we're going to talk about here is the next gen consoles coming sooner rather than later. And I know I look at these, I look at articles, I see what people are talking about, and the reason why this actually came up and why it's even relevant right now. I know everyone's always, whenever the PlayStation 4 comes out, news places always talk about, when the PS3 was out, they're chomping at the bit to talk about the PS4 because they know people will look at it. We have the PS4s, they want to talk about the PS5s. That's not why we're talking about it. We're talking about it because it literally is just around the corner before they announce the next gen console. And in this year's E3, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Minnie, but in the Microsoft conference, when they did their presentation at E3 this year, Phil Spencer actually hinted towards the fact that they are already working on their next gen console. So I mean, we're here, and then we're like, what? I look at it. For you, I think it's a little more extreme because you don't play a lot of console. You're mainly on your PC, and so it's like, well, I haven't really played a lot of it, so it doesn't feel like it's around a lot for you. Right?
I had my PlayStation 4 for 2 years before I played on it.
Yeah, you just had it just in case, right?
Just in case, yeah.
So you didn't do that, but I was like, dude, we're like coming into the next gen. You're like, what? What are you talking about? But both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 came out in November 2013. That means this November marks the 5th year. The most of the console life cycles are between 5 and 7 years.
Right,
so we're right at that sort of midpoint, which means that likely in 2019, I don't think it's going to come out. And maybe the other video that I did, maybe I was jumping the gun a little bit there, but I think for sure we're going to hear more substantial information about the next gen systems.
You'll start hearing some hard rumors in 2019, right?
Hard rumors, not facts. Everyone's going to be going crazy over this stuff here. But we are on the cusp of getting the next gen systems. And I'm going to bring up some comments here and we can get into it right away.
Okay.
CJ Epp. We were talking about next gen and getting next gen systems, and he was like, "I'd switch to PC before I'd buy another console." Well, and thanks for the comment, CJ. But
thanks.
My point on this is like, okay, I get it. It feels too soon, or you don't want to get them. Maybe you're one of those people that just bought the Xbox One X, and if you did, which was it, a year ago that it came out? I think it was like a year. But
very strange release in the middle of the cycle.
Yeah, it's weird. And those that adopted it, you've got to accept the fact that a new one's coming out soon. I think
we should accept the fact that that's what should have come out in 2013 against the PlayStation 4. Then Xbox would have got the market share, not PlayStation.
Yeah, had they only waited. And I know it was probably to do with costs of production and everything like that, but regardless, I don't know if you were like me, but with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, when they came out, I really didn't see that crazy advancement in comparison to the end cycle of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, of what they were able to do on those machines. I was just like, well, yeah, it's better. All the shading looks better, and look, some of them are 1080 60, but some of them were 1080 60 in the previous gen. It's not... it's not that noticeable of a jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So CJ, when you're saying you'd rather buy a PC, so you're telling me in order to play the same type of thing. So if you're going to buy a PC that's going to play, say, like what the Xbox One X can do, which is very close to 4K at 30 frames. You'd rather spend, you're telling me you'd rather spend at minimum, I don't even know if $1,000 PC machine, like I'm talking about monitor, PC, all the peripherals, all that. If you could get something at even at $1,000, that's going to play 4K 30 frames like true native. I don't know if you can.
Yeah. Who wants to play 4K 30?
You want 4K 60?
No, I want 120.
Oh, yeah, on the frames per second, you mean?
I want 60 FPS in game.
But my point is, like
constant
he's saying,
bit rate.
Yeah.
But this goes to the whole next gen updating thing, right?
Yeah.
Is everybody is like 4K and 4K and 4K. No, you know what? If you get a 1080p constant bit frame rate of 60 FPS and you got 120 monitor.
Yeah.
It is so smooth and looks beautiful. The colors pop are vibrant while you're moving, especially if it's a game like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty, Borderlands, something that's really fast moving, right?
Yeah. I don't think the world and the network is ready for 4K anyway. Not even the internet, the bandwidth and everything like that, transmitting information for multiplayer, for the games. I think 4K is kind of, we're here technically, but I think we're a lot farther away from true native 4K.
We've been talking about 4K for 5 years.
Yeah.
And here we are 5 years later saying, well, do we get 4K or should we do...
Yeah. You're not going to get... I know it's frustrating to see another console coming out soon, but the price, the beauty of what consoles do is they bring video games at a good level, at a moderate level PC for a lot cheaper. And it puts it in the houses of people. Not everyone can afford the PC. And if you're going PC, I'm sorry, you want to say PC Master Race, you're not buying $1,000 computer. You know, if you want to call yourself PC Master Race or whatever that they say, you're going to want a really good CPU and you're going to want a really good GPU. And the GPUs alone, when you buy them, if you're getting something that's like 4K, 60, whatever it is, you're talking that alone, that GPU alone can cost you close to $1,000. If you're getting a quality one.
Yeah,
so,
it's expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear your frustration, dude, but I just, if you're going to go PC...
I get the point that he's making. He's like, enough of these things. Let's just go with a PC that's been way out in front of these things for years.
Yeah, exactly. I got that.
What's the next comment?
The next comment is Max Ammo. They can make a hard drive...
Max Ammo!
Max Ammo! Max Ammo says, they can make a hard drive... He's making a statement here, by the way. They can make a hard drive you can pull out to insert a newer, more powerful one. Just parts that updated in a way where you can just slide it in and out to replace. It would cost less and encourage people to stay updated. This way, we don't have to pay $300 plus for upgrades, just maybe $100 to $150 for the new part. So he's talking about like a modular console, right? But dude, but every 5 to 7 years, you're going to need something completely new anyway. Think about even the PC. Even in the PC world, if you want that newest GPU, that newest RAM, you know what? There's certain motherboards that don't support it. Motherboards get outdated and those parts will not fit. They will not go back on the really old motherboards. It just won't. It won't be compatible. It won't be compatible with CPUs. It's a completely different infrastructure inside your PC. No different than it would be with consoles. Like, I don't see how making it modular is going to extend the life. I think we're still going to get vastly...
I think the idea with the console is to keep it small and keep it cheap for what it is. Yeah. Like $399.
Yeah.
$399 is what I got my PlayStation 4.
Awesome price for what it's capable of doing.
And I'm not going to touch that thing for 5 years, 6, 7 years. It's a great price. I have hard drives that are double that price in my PC.
That's my point.
I've spent thousands of dollars on a SSD drives where I get the point, but I think we lose perspective when we keep comparing like PC and these consoles.
Yeah.
As long as the prices stay down, like a $399 price, and delivering on something so good that's going to last me for 7 years, you golden.
Yeah, you can't. For the average person out there that's not like money bags, that doesn't have deep pockets or anything like that, the console provides, a medium to higher end when it comes out range in terms of gaming experience in comparison to buying something like that with PC that you want to last just as long. You're going to spend way less on that. I hear people, and I don't care if you're one of those people, it's bull crap. You got to stop feeding people's head with this bull crap that, I can make a PC that plays Ultra this for $700 or something like that. I'm like, come on, man. It's just, I just find it it's a little bit crazy. Go ahead and you go and do that. And you run your 4K at 60 with some of these games out there. Heck, Meaty, you and I have beast computers. Yours is more beast than mine. But sometimes certain games have problems, no matter what.
Because they have bad coding, they're not optimized.
So they're always going to have, no matter what, you have the best in the world doesn't mean that you're going to have the best.
If you put a tire with a flat spot on a Ferrari, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, exactly. So we got one last comment here.
Okay.
And this is from Yu-Hyun. I apologize. Yu-Hyun Kim. I don't know if it's sensible to expect 4K on a $300 to $500 console, because I was saying what do you want on the next gen systems? Should it be solid 4K 30 frames? Because that's what the Xbox One X is. Well, it's not true native, and if you think that it's true native, then you're wrong. It's actually very close to 4K, closer than the PS4 Pro, but it's not true native. It's actually the teraflops on it do not match minimum requirements for 4K 30 frames, which I think is 7.5. And the Xbox One X is 6. But anyway, so he's saying it's not reasonable to expect 4K on a $300 to $500 console when most PCs that are worth, $1,000 can barely handle 4K 60 frames.
See, it's a great point. That's a great point. And it goes along with what we've been saying. Like what I said, $399 for a console for 7 years. Yeah. I'm investing in that. Perfect. Yeah. And like you said, $1,000 plus if you're looking for that. But until 4K monitors become the standard, why are we still talking about 4K?
Yeah, like I've got a 4K, but we generally record everything that we do on Yoi's Win in 1080. It's just easier. In terms of watching it, majority of people, even in the bandwidth, aren't going to do that. I'm not talking about, from a YouTuber's perspective, is a little bit different, right? Because we're thinking about what you guys can watch.
Most people watch on their mobile phones.
Exactly. 720 looks amazing on your mobile phone.
So what we're saying is, do you need 4 times the of what we're giving you now? I don't think so. Not on your mobile phone.
And not just that, though. There's always that argument. People use it whenever it suits them is, graphics aren't everything. You know what I mean? Well, if they aren't everything, then what does it matter if we have 4K 60 frames or anything like that?
No, I love the graphics. And getting the depth of they're changing color spaces. Broadcast standards are changing. They're changing from what's been a standard since high definition came out. Right. They're going to a whole new color space.
Yeah. That's more vibrant, more broad spectrum of colors.
It's
and everything
HDR.
Like
that. It's HDR, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we have HDR TVs. It's not about 4K. It's about bit depth. It's about the depth of the colors, the amount of the colors. These are the things that these consoles can push without having to go 4K. We need, as gamers, to keep our frame rates really high. Yeah. Because there'll be a game that releases and they go, oh my God, it only plays at 30. This sucks. You feel like you're getting vertigo because you're playing at 30 frames.
Stutter. I don't want the movie version of this. I want a video game where it's fluid, Yeah. And 60 frames is a huge difference.
Things like mobile phones have really ruined it for people. Mobile phones give you so much. They give you awesome cameras. They give you awesome video things. They give you awesome
their pixel
places to watch.
Yeah.
All this great stuff packed into this little phone. So people want to say, well, I want my DSLR to be 4K 120 frames. I want my computer to do this. I want my console to do all. Yeah. It's like, look, don't get spoiled with one thing, because we have been spoiled with certain things like a mobile device. They do so much, but all 4Ks are not created equal, my friend. Just because it's stamped 4K doesn't mean that's
maybe
the end-all
we do
deal.
get 4K. No, they're like, fine, everyone's saying 4K. We give them 4K 30 frames, but it's going to look like crap. You know,
Yeah.
I'd still rather, and think about it, we're talking 2 years. How much more advanced are we going to get? I know things advance, but the price of that is going to be so high. I don't know how would you rather have a $399 console or a $799 console?
$399.
Yeah.
And I can play God of War like I did.
Yeah. And it still
Dude,
looks
the new
great.
God of War looks beautiful. And I mean, I'm throwing the blades and the fire's explosion. I played like 20 hours and never once did the game stutter or crash.
It's all the dynamic.
Nothing.
It's the dynamic range, the shadow, and what they can do with these new CPUs. And like you said, the color spectrums. We don't necessarily
sounded like
need
a jet engine when I was playing, though.
I was pushing the PS4 to a limit. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not ready right now, but in 2 years, I think I'll be ready for a new console. I think I'll be okay. But I do want to see it noticeably better. And I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's necessarily 4K. 4K is probably going to be in there. What I want is an amazing picture. I want, exactly what you're saying. I want them to really focus on the dynamic range. I want them to focus on particle physics and the CPUs in it. I'd much rather have a powerful CPU that can manage 1080, 120 frames or something. Something stupid, ridiculous, where it's just absolutely solid across the board for every single game. I promise you'd enjoy the game even if it's not in 4K, because I think most of you in the console world aren't even playing 4K, or you don't watch movies in 4K and you're on your phones like you said, Meaty. So
4K is just a buzzword, and we're going to have to kick that to the curb and look at the bigger picture with color space, bit depth, dynamic range, all this stuff. That's what we need to look at.
Oh, sure.
All right, you guys. Well, that's going to do it for the first edition, the first episode of our podcast here. We don't know how this is going to turn out yet. We covered a few topics and it was really fun. I can tell you it was really fun to do. We're excited to get your guys' feedback on this and how this develops over the weeks ahead.
Yeah,
what do you think?
We're
How do you feel about it?
We're gonna make some improvements and everything like that. But make sure you stay tuned to the channel during the week, though, if you want your comments read during the podcast, because we'll be putting out the mini videos that you've seen there, where I kind of very briefly talk about the subjects. But what we're really doing is trying to get your opinion, your comments. So make sure that you look out for those if you want to be sort of involved more with the podcast and maybe see your comment on here. So make sure you watch for those. And leave a comment, opinion, whatever. You don't have to agree with us. We're not here to make you agree with us. We're just sharing, and it's a dialogue. That's all.
Yeah, it's a dialogue. Thanks to all the people who put the comments in that we read out. And if you guys didn't get your comments read, keep trying, because we're looking for a good interaction with you guys. And that's it for us. Thanks for watching, you guys.
See ya.